Friday on a cloudy day here in Florida. I appreciate you tuning in. So, we're talking today about protecting your IVF investment. Would you spend $10 to protect your $1,000? That's the average in the United States of an IVF procedure. Would you spend $10 to ensure that IVF procedure was successful? That's what we're looking for, right? Is a successful IVF procedure. And we all know the answer to this question, right? The answer is, of course we would. Of course that we would spend $10 to ensure that our procedure has the outcome that we want, which is a successful pregnancy. So rarely do we spend this much money, $15,000, a car, a house, maybe a piece of jewelry. I don't know, but rarely do we spend this kind of money in the thousands of dollars without doing some sort of research or doing something to protect our investment, except when it comes to IVF. I even feel like plastic surgery, other medical procedures would fall outside of that category. For some reason, when we're talking about IVF and reproductive medicine, we don't do a lot of research to protect our investment in some way. Okay. So we trust that the doctors that we're seeing care as much about the procedure as we do. Sometimes that's the case. Certainly not always is the case. I have 20 women here, a success book that would tell you that wasn't the case for them for the most part. So no one is going to IVF procedure as much as you do. So you need to make sure that you're doing everything that you can do on your end to prepare your body for a successful IVF transfer, IUI transfer. So that could involve a lot of different things. But today we're talking about a $10 investment to protect, or $10, insurance policy to protect your investment. So what I'm going to tell you is going to ensure that at least one of these bases is covered. I met a young woman not too long ago. She's actually appearing in writing a chapter in my second Infertility Success edition that's coming out later this year. But her story is truly amazing. And I found that she's not the only one that has this type of story. So Erin had some urinary tract discomfort. So I'm going to make this a little bit of a truncated story, a little bit of a shorter story for you. But basically, she was pushed around the medical community for about 2 years. She started, of course, with her OBGYN. She was sent to urologists and other specialists and reproductive medicine doctors, and all the while she was trying to conceive their second child. So she had these urinary tract infections symptoms, but no one could figure out what the cause of it was until finally she found a reproductive endocrinologist that did something called a postcoital test and also treated her for something called ureaplasma. So that's basically what we're talking about today is ureaplasma. So Erin actually did have symptoms of ureaplasma. Sometimes they show up as urinary tract infection symptoms, but you don't have a urinary tract infection. It doesn't culture. Sometimes you just have repeated failed IVF procedures. And sometimes you have vaginosis, repeat bacteria vaginosis. And so what you can do, and remember, Erin tried and failed for 2 years, over and over again, looking for an answer to relieve her symptoms, but also for her infertility problems. So she was given a $10 antibiotic. Her and her husband actually were given a $10 antibiotic called azithromycin. I'm sure that I'm just going to check my settings here. Hopefully my signal is holding up. It's a $10 antibiotic. It's zithromycin, and it changed the course of her fertility. Just that $10 antibiotic. She finally found someone that would listen to her in reproductive medicine, and he recommended putting her and her husband during a certain part of her cycle. Now, this is where I want you to go ahead and consult your doctor, because they're going to be able to tell you what's best as far as when to take the antibiotic in your cycle. But this was the golden ticket for her. This was the thing that the very next cycle after this, she got pregnant. Okay. So why don't doctors tell you about this? So sometimes they don't tell you because they don't know. And sometimes they don't tell you because they don't care enough to tell you. There are a lot of different things that they, under the realm of what they could test you for, and they just kind of go about their business. And we've talked about this before about advocating for yourself. They just kind of go through their standard operating procedure. And if you don't push back, or if you don't request additional testing, or if you don't have something outside of the box, they're just going to keep doing their thing. So again, Erin had this $10 antibiotic. She got pregnant with her second. While she was still nursing her baby, I think it was around 5 months, she actually conceived her third child with no medical intervention. So the lesson here is that, one, you have to listen to your body above all other things. You have to listen to your body, and you have to advocate for yourself. No medical procedure was required. No intervention was required for her third daughter. And even though still the doctors cannot and would not confirm that that the antibiotic was the golden ticket, the magic pill, so to speak, that changed the course of her fertility, we know that she got pregnant after the dosage and after her husband took the dosage. And we know that she was able to subsequently get pregnant after that with her third, just out of the blue. So that's your $10 insurance policy. It's something to have a conversation with your doctor about at the very least. Please know, if you've been watching me, you know that I'm not like a strong proponent of antibiotics and medicine just for the sake of medicine. But in this case, this could be the thing standing between you and your successful IVF. So if you want to hear, if you want to read Erin's whole story and some other stories like hers, Infertility Success, Stories of Help and Hope for Your Journey is available on Amazon. It's 20 women's stories, including myself. Erin's is coming up in the second edition of the book later this year, but there's some other amazing stories that will help you along your journey. I'm going to drop the link in the comments, and I will see you next week. Health and blessings to you guys.